Hi, folks, and welcome to Jackson Hole. Let's talk about the Jackson Hole Town Square. This is maybe one of the most filmed, photographed places in America, and for good reason. If you're taking a trip to Yellowstone or Grand Teton National Park or the Jackson Hole area, you're not going to want to miss the Jackson Hole Town Square. If you haven't heard of the Jackson Hole Town Square, then you're going to want to make a special note to put this on your list of places to visit. If you have been to Jackson Hole, you're going to want to come to the town square again. So where is the Jackson Hole Town Square? Well, if we look at this, we have Yellowstone National Park up here. And if we zoom in just a little south, we've got Grand Teton National Park. And then we have the Jackson Hole area. In the center, we've got the town of Jackson, Wyoming. And in the center of the town of Jackson, Wyoming, we have the Jackson Hole Town Square. Now, let me give you a little history about the town square. The town of Jackson was incorporated in 1914, and 3 years later, the town acquired this land to make it a public area. And this became the center of town where restaurants and businesses and retail shops all kind of grew up around this public square area. But it wasn't until the 1950s that someone had the great idea to incorporate doing these antler arches. The very first one in 1953, the second in 1966, 67, and the fourth one in 1969. See, there's a piece of the puzzle that most people don't understand. And that's just north of the town of Jackson, almost 25,000 acres is the National Elk Refuge. This refuge feeds the elk in winter and is a crucial habitat for keeping the elk alive in this environment. See, the town of Jackson actually blocked the natural migration path of these elk to head south. And in the early 1900s, they needed to start feeding the elk in order for them to survive the harsh winters. Well, these elk every spring would drop their antlers, and then there would be antlers laying around, and they'd be obstacles to the people running the elk refuge. So much so that back in the 60s, they would actually be giving these antlers away to tourists. And eventually these antlers became used in art and furniture and different things, and they became valuable. And what they did is they made a deal with the local Boy Scouts to go out every spring and pick up all these antlers, and then the refuge would sell these antlers. The Rotary Club of Jackson Hole would buy these antlers in these early years to construct this antler arch as kind of a tourist attraction. Now every year, the Boy Scouts go out and pick up these antlers, and they have what's called Elk Fest. This Elk Fest is a time for people to buy and sell antlers who are in the antler business and tourists to bring home souvenirs and different things like this. And the Boy Scouts get a small percentage of the sales from this Elk Fest. Now, this town square is a magical place, and it centers around the Veterans Memorial, which is right in the center of the Jackson Hole Town Square. In the summer months, there's a stagecoach you can pay to take a 2-block ride around the block and have this stagecoach experience. During the Christmas season, even Santa makes a stop at the Jackson Hole Town Square. And it's a beautiful, magical place where there's Christmas lights, and there's really not a lot of other places like it on the planet. Each one of these antler arches on the 4 corners of the town square have a little over 2,000 elk antlers in each arch. And these arches last about 50 years because the antlers will degrade in the sun over time. The first set of antler arches actually lasted from 1953 to almost 2009 before they started to replace them. And one of the original antler arches is actually located just north of the town square, a few blocks at one of the hotels. So whether it's summer or winter, this is a stop you don't want to miss on your trip. Welcome to Jackson Hole and welcome to the Jackson Hole Town Square. I hope you enjoy it.